Like, subscribe, follow, download. Giddy up.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey folks, Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D After Dark, only on A2D Radio. We are brought to you by BodyCheckWellness.com, and you can use promo code A2D and get yourself 20% off at checkout. Body Check Wellness is a line of products that promote wellness, balance, and recovery by using the full potential of hemp. So, come in extracts, blends, gummies, topicals. Go check them out, BodyCheckWellness.com. Promo code A2D and get yourself 20% off at checkout. Tom, Tori, Ariana, Chrome, Lindsay be with us in a little bit. So the best ladies in the business, we're back at it again tonight. Ton to talk about. We'll do our shout-outs at the end of the show. Name and time in Philly sports that you wish you could go back to. So it's going to be a fun one because besides the championship or parade. So it's going to be fun because I'm interested to see where the people go with it. You know, is it the AI Sixers years? Is it the Andy years? Where do you go? Or is it something completely separate than those? Because people are going to have different things. We'll do.
I love mine.
I'm sure I won't.
I hope it's not about the Cardinals.
Yep. Here we go. And the base NBA post All-Star break prediction. So we'll sort of tell you where the Sixers come out. They're down 9 right now to the Jazz. And you can see they're hurt by not having the same caliber of bench, right? I mean, it comes down to that. It's not their starters versus their starters. I mean, I'd have to go look exactly what the numbers are, but it's not going to say it's even. They might be down like 6 to their starters, 5, something like that, because they were down as much as 14, I believe, early on here in the first. And the difference is Utah can bring in a second unit that we can't match, right? And that ties into our Sixers and Jazz breakdown, which ties into our poll question brought to you by our doc. Got to make him yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Our poll question is Sixers need to make roster changes sooner than later. Well, later comes March 25th. That's as late as you can go. That's the NBA trade deadline. I know there's buyout options after that, but do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. That's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Like, subscribe, follow, download, join our conversation tonight. And let us know. Yes. I mean, they need a better bench. So I'll agree. It's a simple agree. I mean, by March 25th, if this bench doesn't show consistency and show they can go up against the likes of Utah and the better teams in basketball, then they absolutely need to make roster changes, and not big ones. Like I've been saying this for a month now, if not longer, like 1, 2 scores. Like I need scores. So you need to have an identity coming off your bench. What is it? You can't shoot the 3-ball well enough off your bench, right? I think we can all agree there. You don't shoot the 3-ball overly well as it is. Your starting 5's obviously better than your bench, but when your bench comes in, it gets ugly shooting the basketball, from deep, right? You have 2 3-point guys that are out there in Mike Scott and Furkan. Like we're trusting that compared to like Jordan Clarkson's of the world and the likes you're seeing Utah run out, or just different teams around basketball run out. So there's if we want to get to an NBA Finals and an Eastern Conference Finals, I know people can love Furkan and love Shake, and that's great. All right, Shake can definitely have a role with it, but you need somebody to go alongside Shake that's consistent. And if Furkan wants to decide to be consistent night in, night out, then maybe we're having a different conversation. All right, even your backup 5 Dwight Howard's like a dog on a hardwood floor. You know, I mean, what does he bring? He brings you nothing offensively. So, you know, Thibault doesn't bring anything offensively. Both energy guys, both good defensive players, but nothing in terms of the offensive game. And when you have teams that come out and drop 40 off their bench, I know everybody's going to tell me what they did against Indiana, but that's like a once in every 2-week thing where they have like this huge bench, you know, output. Does it happen night in, night out, guys? Or at least more consistently than not? More often than not. It doesn't. It doesn't happen more often than not. You're talking about bench struggles again tonight. Look at their bench production. Look at ours.
Right now, they're at about 19 off the bench. We're at about 15. So it's not as bad as you would think right now. But
well, watching it feels bad.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just me. Like watching it gives you a different feel than the numbers might say, I guess.
So you would want to get a bench guy, or would you want to get somebody that could go into the starting lineup and put one of the starters off the bench?
I don't think that necessarily matters. I mean, our starting five's been pretty good together, so I don't want to like mess things up too much. I just want to go find a guy who can give me 15, 20 a night off my bench. And I know they're not easy to find, but they're out there. There's guys out there that you can go out and if you're willing to give up some of the assets per se, you can get it. But that's not. I mean, 1915 isn't as drastic, but you know, 1915 tour, right? That's you got. You know, that's supposed to be a defensive unit for the most part. Like, if Matisse Thybulle isn't palms up, if Dwight Howard's not blocking shots and rebounding, right, then, like, what are them two good for? You know, if you're giving up 19 off the bench in the first half already, which is on pace to give up 40. So I don't know what to think about this bench. Because some nights don't press you, and other nights it's atrocious, and they hurt you. So what does everybody else say? The Sixers need to make roster changes sooner than later. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Chime in.
I'll say I'm kind of in between. I'm not sure what I'm going to say yet because was it Monday night where the bench showed out and they all were on fire basically? And it was like, if the bench is doing what they need to do and our starters are needed to do what they need to do, then I don't really want to mess with what we have. But that's, I want to say what I've seen so far is like a 1 in 5, 1 in 10 chance where the bench is actually like competent or plays to their capability. So I'm kind of in between. I mean, I would like to maybe get another starter and put Danny Green to the bench, possibly. But then it's like, who do I want to give up? You have to think about that too. And it's
I think Danny Green goes in a trade.
You think that's what I'm saying too. It's like, who are we willing to get rid of? Yeah, I guess him. Other people of value, I guess, would be Matisse, Maxey, which I don't know. Sometimes I love Matisse, and sometimes I feel like he's not doing enough. Maxey, I feel like we haven't seen enough out of him, you know? So it's like hard to part with people sometimes. So I'm gonna say right now I'm gonna disagree and say I want to roll with who we got for now.
I have no problem.
Even though I know we need help, but
yeah, it's good. Listen, it's fine. They're the best team in the Eastern Conference as of right this second. So, you know, just games like this are the ones that sort of concern you, like if we want to get there. But, you know, I wouldn't even like want to trade Danny because I don't want to get top heavy again, right? Like I don't want to be that team we were with Jimmy and everybody where we had no bench at all, right? I'm just trying to get it a little longer in the tooth there. So what does everybody else say? You got an agree and a disagree so far that the Sixers need to make roster changes sooner than later.
Good, eh?
I just downloaded NBC Sports and activated it. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying again to watch it. I haven't watched it since last time. So I got nothing.
Out, girl, you're missing out. What?
It's so hard. I can't do it.
Dude, watching Joelle and Ben when they're doing what they're doing is great TV.
Hey, it says it's last time right now. So I will watch when it's not halftime.
Somebody mentioned in the comments Kyle Lowry, and I feel like that would be the one person I would kind of want here. But then that's a whole other spectrum of a whole different team. But like they're saying, yeah, like I hate Lowry. Like everyone hates Lowry. But like when he's yours, it's like, oh, but you love him. And that's how I would be with him, I think. But
I don't think everybody hates Kyle
Really?
Lowry. I mean,
think everyone does.
he's a Villanova guy. I actually
He's a villain.
I disagree. Why? Because he was on the team that lost.
Because
that
he's
defeated
just
this
an annoying player.
He's a tough player. He's a dude who grinds it out. He's a dude that, when you talk about Villanova, right, and their success in the NBA, okay, great college program, does not produce a lot of NBA players. However, he has been one of the more reliable and consistent players of his generation, coming, and probably the best player, top to bottom, for a career to come out of Villanova. I think that Kyle Lowry is exactly the type of guy that you would want to see come here. I think.
Am I alone here? No one's heard of the Kyle
You're not
Lowry.
alone.
You both are right. You both are right on.
He's not a bad. I don't hate him because I think he's bad. I think he's really good, but I think that he's just annoying in the way he plays.
I've never heard anybody say they hate Kyle Lowry until we lost to Toronto. That's when I started hearing people hate Kyle Lowry. And he was pesky as hell in that series.
I know. I think around basketball, there's like, even if you just go outside of Philly, I think because he's a pest and little stuff like that. Like, I agree with both comments. Like, I agree with both sides of it. Like, we're like, I don't hate Kyle Lowry, but like when you play against him, he drives you crazy.
I agree. That's more of what I think it is.
Yeah, I mean, hate and drive you crazy. I mean, the way Twitter is, you can just count everything as hate. So,
also true.
Everything over there is hate. It's a hate wagon over there. I mean, my goodness.
Yeah, I know.
Making my
I
first.
got called out for my eyebrows yesterday.
Yeah, I got called out for a lot of things. So
what?
Tom gets in an argument, and I come sailing in to be his knight in shining armor.
Thank you. At least somebody did. I mean, my goodness.
Thank you.
I mean, I didn't create the retweet. Like the original
I know.
Like, you came to my page, the retweet.
I know.
And then, you can't handle a little back and forth. Yeah, he's a pest, Kyle. That's what he is. And Evan, I agree with you. There isn't, the spacing is terrible tonight, and nobody can hit a three, at least in our starting lineup. Right? I think we're 0 for 6 from 3 with our starters tonight. So I know I've been putting a lot of emphasis on the bench, but that's the big teams like this. You're gonna have some guys struggle, right? You're gonna have some starters struggle at times. Where if I have a guy like a Terrence Ross, just a name, just like that type of name that can come off my bench and can be instant offense, right? It can make up for guys that are going to have off nights. Your stars are usually going to do what they do, but you're going to have different guys that are going to have off nights here and there, right? That's just the nature of the beast in a 72er, 82er. It doesn't matter in a longer season. That's just how it's just going to go. That's why stars win. But, if you can help these other guys out and just get deeper, right? I think that's what we all can agree on, even if we disagree with the poll, is that we can get a little bit deeper here.
Yeah. I think, I disagree with the poll for a couple of reasons. Despite everything going on right now, the NBA regular season isn't extremely important, honestly. And being the number 1 seed as they are right now, I think, we have the deadline approaching. And I think it's more important that by the end of the season, there's moves made. Even if it's not at the trade deadline, buyouts are around the corner, and we're definitely going to be players in that. I would be utterly shocked if this team stayed pat as it is right now. I don't expect that. I don't think it needs to happen tomorrow. In this game, Tom, I would agree with you. Bench upgrades are a major, major need here because there's just not enough consistency on the bench at all. That being said, the difference in this game is the 17-4 run they gave up early in the game. That's what the difference is. The bench has actually managed to pace with the Jazz, which is shocking to me. They've managed to stay pace, and this is one of those games where you would expect they would get blown out by a second unit.
Yeah, but the difference. What I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying, but if you look at Joe and Ben, right, and Tobias, right, they're right around going on to where their numbers probably will be. Right? Okay. They're all right. So you look at Danny.
Danny Green has 0 points right now.
Right. And I understand the scoring aspect, but defensively, the first unit did not do their job in that first quarter. And that's been the issue because they have actually continued to make up ground despite all of that. And again, that wasn't on the bench. That was the first unit. But overall, I agree with you. The second unit is the issue. There's not enough scoring. I look at a guy like, Boogie Cousins. We'll love to have a Boogie Cousins here. I love, you've heard me say this name a lot, Tom. I love his game, and I think the dude just is always on good teams. I like George Hill a lot. I think he would be a good fit here. He would be a great guy to come off the bench and lead that second unit. But I mean, I would love to have Kyle Lowry. Do you not want to have to give up assets? And I consider Danny Green an asset. Do you not want to have to give up a guy who's got a winning pedigree like that in order to get him? Sure. But when you talk about getting a Kyle Lowry, and to your point, Tori, I don't care for Matisse. Way too inconsistent. Looks like a deer in the headlights. Looks so unorthodox and uncomfortable offensively. I know he has a good defensive game. I expect that's going to continue to evolve. I just don't know we're ever going to get enough offensively, though. I would be more prone to hang on to Maxey and let that kid develop, and utilize Matisse in a trade if you can get an asset that could possibly push you over the top for a championship.
Listen, if I get a chance to push me over the top for a championship, right, then they both have to be expendable, right? Like in reality.
Well, yeah. Like, are we in win now mode?
I'm just in the, if one or the other has to go and stay, I would push.
I feel like they both will go.
Down.
They both will go. I think
4 years. I think we're in a 4 year. A 4 year definitely win now, maybe even a little bit longer.
I was thinking like 3. Okay, 4.
Yeah, I'm thinking around 3.
I'm thinking like this year and then 2 more.
No, it's not fair though, because they're so young. Like, it's almost not fair.
They're young?
Who? I mean, your two best players.
Oh yeah, this team is.
What are they? 25?
Your best two play. Yeah, in the NBA. I mean, my goodness, Ben might play when he's 50. The way he runs around.
We're not talking about the NFL where guys are 30 or 31 and they're already well past their prime.
Because Kyle Lowry's 32 already. So I feel like if Kyle Lowry 35.
I don't want him. I love Kyle Lowry. I can't.
Sure? I look. No, he's
35 years old.
Is he?
Yep.
I just looked this up. Okay. Damn.
Wait, so are these the normal 5 starters that are on the court right now?
Yeah.
So listen, we're bringing A and Long here, right? It's what we're doing. It's like a teaching, like a little 101. Like we're giving her a lesson. We're giving her a lesson here.
He is.
Get her in the band.
34.
He'll be 35 March 25th, a couple days after my birthday.
I don't know.
So
I might have been looking at a different number when I said 32. But that's what I'm saying. Like
this lineup right here has played really well together. When they've all played, we've played extremely. We played at a high level. There's been different guys who have missed games, obviously, in the NBA, you lose games. But the real thing, when you watch when the other unit comes in, we'll tell you. When they come in, you just tell me if you – like, there's always going to be a difference, right? But
absolutely.
Tell me who you're scared of. I think that's more the thing. Who am I – when that second unit comes in, and you'll watch it, tell me who you're scared of. Like, oh, that guy looks really good.
Shake can make plays. Furkan, he's all or nothing, basically. You're going to get 15 to 20 points out of him, or you're going to get, a 1 for 7 from 3.
But we need him
type of night, and you do. I mean, that's the thing, right? So you look at Shake and Dwight are probably 6 and 7 off your bench. Your 8 guys, especially when you talk about playoff time and that rotation, you start shortening the bench to 8 or 9 guys. You need that number 8 guy to be able to contribute nightly, week in or night in and night out. And particularly in a series where you're facing the same teams and they're going to make adjustments, I'm not confident in Furkan that he's going to bring it every night, that he's going to be able to get me 10, 12 off the bench.
I don't mean
quality shots.
I don't mean to interrupt you on that. I agree with you because of the age too, right? Like, he's only 23 years old. So it's like these younger guys sometimes are inconsistent. I mean, look at the difference in like guys we let go, right? In like Jeremy Grant's of the world, right? Dario always played, but like, look at these guys.
Jeremy Grant was definitely one we gave up on too early.
Yeah, as they get older and the game slows down for them per se, right? So that's why, like, do I want to give up on Maxey right now? Absolutely not, because I love the pick of Maxey. So I want to give him time to get better, right? I don't want to get rid of Shake because he's young, right? I don't want to get rid of Furkan because he's young, right? I mean, he's a free agent after this year anyway. But I'm just looking for one guy. Like, I'm not looking. Everybody else is looking for like big splashes. I'm looking for like Terrence Ross. It's not a big splash, but he'll splash you for 20 a night. He's going to come in here off your bench, and he's going to be a walking guy who you gotta worry about, especially from 3, right? And if somebody on this bench can really stretch outside of Furk, right, then you start talking about now Dwight gets easier dunks, right? Now Dwight starts looking like, oh, maybe Dwight can score a little bit. No, he can't anymore. But it's because he's getting easier opportunities because we're spacing the floor better. That's my issue with the second unit. It's not that guys can't score. Shea can score. Fur can score. Mike Scott, when he decides to have a pulse, can score. It's the fact that it matters. There's no spacing. You know what I mean? If Mike Scott's not sitting in the corner shooting threes, what good is he, right?
And can we please put an end to the bring JJ Redick back to Philly stuff? I love JJ Redick as much as anybody, but
I think he would cost a lot, though.
Huh?
I think he would cost a lot.
It's not even just the money. Take the money aspect out of it. It's the fit.
I don't.
He doesn't play
JJ
defense on a second unit that defensively gives up a ton of points. The plus minus of the second unit, when you look night in and night out, is terrible. It's absolutely terrible, and that's an issue. And you need guys who can come in and play some defense. You don't have to be a defensive shutdown guy, but you have to be able to make a stop at some point. And bringing in JJ in a year where he's definitely gotten older, he's not shooting anywhere close to what he typically shoots at, and then to expect him to come in and make a difference, it's just not. It's not worth it. It doesn't fit with this team.
I love JJ, but he's not one I would be like, oh, let's go out. He's going to be our JJ. Problem solver.
I'll always love JJ.
You got me like Terrence Ross and JJ Redick somehow. The money's not going to work to be able to pull off both. But like if you get that off my bench, and I'd be excited. I got two guys who can score it. But I'm not like, it's not JJ Redick or bust for me. Like if you like JJ Redick, I don't even want him. Like if you got him as like, if you got me George Hill and like JJ Redick, right? Then I'm like, okay. If he's like the second guy coming over, right, fine, because I know he can give me some instant offense once in a while. But is JJ Redick more consistent right now than Furkan? Because I'm going to say, I'm going to tell everybody, I can't believe I'm saying it. Right now, he's not hot. He's not. Go look at their numbers, both of them. Furkan's actually had better nights, which is shocking. This year.
I mean, the average is, I feel like he probably ends up better, Furkan. But yeah, like he's very hit or miss.
This is the typical we fall in love with guys, and rightfully so. JJ was great here for the couple years. I mean, JJ, in terms of the process, he was a guy that was the first free agent guy who came to Philadelphia, and he re-upped to stay here. And I think started to change the perspective of this team around the league. That being said, thanks a lot, JJ, but you don't fit the team anymore. The team has evolved into a different monster, and it's just not the right fit to bring a JJ Redick back, unfortunately.
So Furkan's averaging 8 points a game this season. JJ's 8.3. So I'd still rather keep Furkan. What was I gonna say?
Evan said you can't have Curry and JJ on the same team. I agree. Definitely not in together.
Agreed.
Sure. Definitely not in together. Not
much, but you get a little bit more defense than
Malachi. We need shooters. You all want much into this. Yeah.
Yeah. You need shooters, and you need somebody that can make a defensive stop. Doesn't have to be doesn't have to be a defensive master class or any of that. You just need someone that can make some
play
stops.
Defense, yeah.
Especially with this second unit, man. When they really start to fall behind, they really fall behind. Like they give off runs.
That's no call.
There you go. Yeah, they called it. Yep.
A little late call.
Man, Joe in that first half, man, hitting that mid-range jumper right on the beautiful work of art.
He literally is like watching art.
I just think there's so many guys. There's so many scorers out there, honestly, in this league. They either come off benches for places or either in places that teams are gonna be looking to move guys. Terrence Ross got 3 years left on his deal. So, I mean, to me, in Orlando, it's like, okay, if we can get some picks back and get some things back, why wouldn't they move them for expiring contracts? Like, they'd be stupid not to, right? So that's how I look at a team like Orlando. And there's other teams out there that does. I've had the same deep voice since I was 6 years old. So, it's not zero to do with cigarettes, brother. I wish I could give the cigarettes credit and the cigarette companies credit for a deep voice. And if you don't like my voice, then don't fucking listen. I don't care. All right? You always got something to say.
Who's hating now? I can't.
Robbie. You got two first names, son. I mean, that's concern.
Robbie,
like,
why are you here?
Like, that's a guy that I won't trust. Like, never trust you in a street fight. Right? I'm sorry, I got a little manly voice. I'm apologetic.
But wait,
Rob.
I got Robbie Rob on my
Got
side.
my balls dropped when I was 6, Rob. I'm apologetic. I'm sorry that happened.
He's a man, bro.
I'm 40. 30. But 40. My man. Yeah, it's hard the match. I do like Malik Monk, Scooby. I do like Malik Monk. There's good names. It's good names. But this would be a game I would love for this team to figure out a way to come back and find a way to win this basketball game tonight, which is going to be an uphill battle, obviously. And it's not like the sky is falling if they lose tonight. I know how Sixers faithful go.
But guess what? It's going to be a long time until we play again. So we're going to be harping on this loss, I'm sure. We don't play again until the 11th.
They're only down by 6. Why do you think they're going to lose?
I think they've been down the whole game.
They're playing the best team in the NBA right now. I get more excited for the buyout time because there's always people out there that you don't necessarily. I mean, there's people you expect and you hear, okay, they're going to be bought out likely, but there's always a name or two that you don't necessarily foresee being out there on the market that can contribute to a team that's making a final push. And that's what excites me is this is the first time, maybe ever, that we could be a major player in the buyout market. And that excites me. That's a different aspect of off-season or in-season acquisitions that we really haven't been a part
of. John Lynch. My question is, why would the Magic give up Ross? I heard they would shop Fournier, though. Then go in and on Fournier. Ross, Fournier, to me, but either one of them's a win to me. Right? I mean, I would have liked to get one of them back in the Markelle Fultz deal that we got fleeced on for Jonathan Simmons. So can we get one back this time, maybe? Or we get Fultz back with the ACL.
Oh, my God.
They'll say they'll tell us to trust the process.
That's the time I don't want to go back to is the Markelle Fultz, can he play error. That was annoying as fuck.
Not a fun error.
No.
Not a fun error. Well, it was the start of brighter days.
We thought.
Right? Definitely the start of brighter days. I think this conversation is going to go long, and we can continue to talk Sixers inside of this conversation, right, as the game continues here. We'll have a lot of post-game coverage on A2D Wednesday nights after this show wraps up. But the name of time in Philly sports you wish you could go back to, I think it's a perfect time to start this now. Because I do think this could go a little bit longer than expected, right? Because I think a lot of people are going to have opinions on what they would like to go back to. Now, remember, no championship, no parade, right? No championship, no parade. So a time you want to go back to that ain't equal.
Those are easy ones. Everyone's going to say that.
I mean, I'll start off. Just got to know where I'm going. I'll go back to Andy years immediately. I'll go back to that Eagles team, those Eagles teams throughout them years, every day. Every day, take me back. Take me back. Take me back to knowing I have a chance coming into every year, knowing that, like, good players probably want to come here, right, because we're good, right? All them things. Like, take me back to stability. Please, somebody take me back to Eagles stability. That's what I want back, and I would give up a lot for it. Stability. I'll give up a lot to know for like 10 years I'm in the conversation of either a Super Bowl contender or an NFC or a big time NFC contender at the minimum. And that was yearly with Andy Reid. So give me that. Give me it all day and twice on Sunday. And I'll go back there anytime in a week. And I have a few more that I'll go back to depending on where you all go. And if they're left open, then I'll use them after you guys go. But that's a time that I just miss. Who doesn't? It was Dad. I called him Dad. I don't want to be his son. His son's bad luck. But I sure as I don't want to be his son's. But
I'm not used to loving the Andy Reid era because my mom, who got me into sports, loathes Andy Reid. So hates him, loathes him.
I heard.
Okay, you guys.
Real clear.
I was like, wait.
You guys are an issue.
That's
real clear.
Might have been maybe that internet connection again, cut out at the right time or wrong time. I don't know.
My mom does not like Andy Reid. Okay.
I'm gonna love that clip tomorrow.
Oh, fuck my life.
Blue Andy. What happened? Does Tammy know this? Does Tammy know this? Does Tammy Reid know? That's all Andy needs. Another scandal. Andy needs more things.
I hate you guys. But no, like She would hate on Andy Reid any chance she could get. We would watch the press conference just for my mom to talk shit about him. And she still hates him. Like when he went winning Super Bowls, it's all over the radio. Everyone's talking about it. My mom can't stand it. So I was just like raised. I wasn't raised like glorifying Andy Reid like a lot of people were. And I feel like she's kind of like me in that like we never got the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like we're jaded people over here. We're jaded. We're mad at people. So I don't know. Like I see where you're coming from with it, and if maybe I was like this age with the Andy era happening, I might have a different opinion. But I was kind of like molded by my mom, watching football for a lot of years. So I feel like that has to do.
Too impersonable. You know what I mean? Too impressionable. Sorry, too impressionable back then. Yep, your eyes weren't telling you the true story. Maybe the blowjobs.
My mom. That was blow. Not my mom's type.
Not many's type, honestly. Good for Tammy. Good for Tammy to tangle with that. Big Red. Good for her. Wow.
I cannot.
Yeah, no, I get you. So you wouldn't go there. Where would you go?
So I would go. It came up on my memories a couple days ago, actually, and it was 2 years ago, a couple days ago, when Bryce Harper signed here.
That sounded like a lot, right? Like 2 days ago, a couple days ago.
2 years ago from a couple days ago. My Facebook status was, I love being in Philadelphia. I love being a Philadelphia fan. I'm never going to leave. Like I was a different person then. Like I hadn't seen these hardened times. Like it was after months of waiting for Bryce Harper to come here, and it was back and forth. And I honestly didn't think he was going to come here, but like I still was holding on to that hope. And then Bryce Harper signed here, and then watching that press conference of him at Clearwater, like it was just like a magical time because I was like
which part? Toward the part him saying he wants to bring a championship back to Washington?
To Washington, yeah, I know. I heard that.
Which happened, by the way.
I know. Wait, I heard it, and I was like, I'm just gonna pretend I didn't hear that, and I hope no one else notices. But then I go on social media, and it's like, lovely, great.
That's very optimistic of you to hope that nobody else would notice that.
I know. I was like, Bryce. But I just felt like not even with Phillies, but like Phillies. I was like, World Series or bust, so hopeful because we had so many years of just like bland blah. I'm like, this is what we needed. And like I've said many times, like baseball is my first love. So like that was so important to me. But
no,
also
good one, Tor. In terms of like baseball being back on the map, per se here in Philly. Yes. Absolutely.
It was a bright time. But then also it was like the Eagles, it was coming off our Eagles win. Or was it right around the same time? But it was like still like good Eagles football. The Sixers were still semi in it, and it was just like a good time in general for I feel like all of our teams. None of them were terrible. Like we all had hope in every team, I think, at that very moment. So I can't take anything like that excitement of getting Bryce Harper. It was just like one feeling I will never forget.
We started calling ourselves the city of winners, and we only won a Super Bowl. So it was a good time. Good times. I agree with you. You're right. I felt like everything was like.
Well, you came off the two NCAA national men's basketball titles.
Come on, man.
I'm not that into basketball, but I mean college basketball. But yeah, that was cool. I was at the Villanova
national title, in that tournament. It really is.
So when you say that too, it was like just within that like year or two, there was just like
from 2015,
everything was Philly. Like
from 2015 to 2017, everything just seemed to click. Like you said, in terms of all that stuff, when you talk about two Nova titles coming off an Eagles title and looking like, the process was turning the corner, the Flyers were turning the corner, the Phillies go out and get Bryce Harper. It just seemed like everything was like on the upward spiral in all four professional sports and college sports as well.
And I remember at that time, everyone was like, what's the team you're not confident in winning? And at that time, it was the Flyers. And it's so funny because, like, last year, everyone was like, oh, the Flyers are going to be the next winners. It's just like, so it's so funny how, like, it just changes so quickly.
No, it truly does. It shifts like so so fast.
And that's a good thing and a bad thing, but
yeah, it really shouldn't. It's not supposed to like be that egregious. Now we can't make a shot. Here we go.
Listen, I just need Seth to make one more 3-pointer for me. I got the over at 1.5. The over at 1.5. Oh, Sixers, you just bet the props.
One more three you need?
Yeah, he's I got him over 1.5 threes.
Now we're back down 8 again. So
where are you at, Ariana? Where you want to go back to?
My freshman year when I went to like Penn State Brandywine and I was living like 20 minutes from the city, I got like really involved in like college football and stuff. So I would probably go back to like when I saw the Penn State Temple game at the Link, because that was like, I don't know, it's like an eye opener. Like I don't live near any of the stadiums, so I don't get to go to a lot of games. But like from that point on, like I was like invested in like college football, and like I got into like Villanova basketball because like they were good back then too, like you just said. And like again, being so close to the city, I was like always out like watching like the Eagles games at like the bars, or like just like it was such like a cool feel like being up like with all the Philly fans. Like it was awesome. So I would probably go back to like, I don't know, my like freshman and sophomore year of college, like just becoming a huge like Eagles fan and like partying with all the real fans that like live there. But yeah, that was it.
So who won that game that you were at?
Not Penn State.
Not Penn State.
I was at that game. That's the only reason.
Yeah?
It was Christian Hackenberg.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever went to the Link, and it was also like my second week of college, so like, it was the first time like I ever drank and like all this stuff, and I was like, all right, like this is what college is gonna be like. So
Living
it was
your
really
best
cool.
life.
Yeah, it was awesome.
I have a couple. I'm gonna go with one first.
If you say when the Cardinals,
I'm gonna take it all the way
Phillies,
back. I'm gonna bring Tori in the way. I'm gonna bring Tori in the way back machine with me since she was there. I'm gonna take it all the way back in that wonderful Philadelphia Phillies season of 2011, when they won 102 games, franchise record. Went up against the measly Cardinals, who squeaked into the playoffs after being behind 10.5 games on September 10th out of the wild card.
Philly, not St. Louis.
And that was back when you had the four aces, I believe, were around then with Cole Hamels, Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, and Roy Oswalt. And then you go into this unbelievable Game 5 NLDS game. Chris Carpenter, Roy Halladay came up together, best friends, never faced each other. Game starts, Cardinals. Rafael Furcal hits a triple.
I cannot with him.
And it was like 11 or 12.
Are we coming out to the Cardinals here? Is this how we bet?
The question is Philly.
It is Philly. This is a Philadelphia sports thing.
No, it's not. I know exactly what
it is.
You're twisting shit.
And then after one of the greatest postseason pitched matchups of all time between the great Roy Halladay and Chris Carpenter, the St. Louis Cardinals walked off the field, went on to win a World Series and a thrilling 7-game World Series. It was a great time.
A great time in St. Louis?
You were there.
Yeah, I was there in Philly as a Philly fan.
I was in Philadelphia and I was having a wonderful time. That's a Philadelphia sports moment.
I hope you never get a bed
out on the low end of it.
I hope you never get a bed frame.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome myself in. Hello.
Hey, girl.
How's everyone?
Welcome.
Hey, you guys want to welcome Lindsay to the show. Welcome, Lindsay.
I was listening to Jamie Apodi. She was speaking with our I'm in like a sports media society for women, and she was just awesome. Like I was gonna drop out at 8:30, and I'm like, she's so good. Like she was just talking about her experience and stuff, and it was honestly crazy. So
she's your favorite?
She's awesome. Like I just love how like authentic she is and how real she is when she's broadcasting and stuff. So it was just cool listening to her. And we always have like guest speakers and stuff, and they're all so different. So it was cool.
Yeah, I like Jamie. Jamie's really cool. She's great. She's great too. I enjoy her a lot. I'm gonna go with my second. I'm gonna say it just because I know nobody's gonna go with it. And it's not a negative Philadelphia one.
Good.
So when I was a kid, I wasn't a real big basketball fan growing up. Shaquille O'Neal made me a basketball fan when I was like 8 years old. And so I was always kind of just like a fan of whatever team he was on. So I was a Magic fan, and then
You were a fanboy.
A Lakers fan. I mean, I liked Shaq. But I went to my first basketball game in 1997, Allen Iverson's second year. And it was a Lakers game. And I was supposed to go see Shaq. I had my Shaq stuff on, everything, my Lakers jersey. And Shaq ended up being injured and didn't play. So it was basically Iverson and Kobe Bryant in their second years.
Nice. And
this is back when the Sixers team was like Jerry Stackhouse, Eric Montross, Jim Jackson, Mark Davis, all these, Doug Overton, all these guys. And the Sixers ended up winning that basketball game. And it was my first game, and my dad was supposed to take me. My dad was a longshoreman, though, and he ended up having to work. So it's so funny that my mom took me to my first basketball game I ever went to. It's the only game she's ever gone to. And I always remember that. But I left that game after watching Iverson, despite Kobe being in that game, too. And I said to my parents, I want to get an Allen Iverson Sixers jersey. And I became a Sixers fan the night I saw Allen Iverson play in person. And I would go back to those. I mean, 01, great run, obviously. That was a magical year. But for me, my love of basketball grew in those early first or second and third years of Iverson. And really, even up to like the 99 playoffs, when it was the first time they made the playoffs in years. And they faced Orlando in the first round. And it was like Penny Hardaway and that team. And I remember I loved those games. Like at my parents' house, I think I still have the entire series taped on VHS somewhere. If you guys, all you young kids out there don't know what a VHS is. But
I know. I never heard of it.
You'd be surprised how many people won't. But
I'm so young.
I always go back to that, and I think of like, man, that I was a young kid. I was 12 years old. Like, I fell in love with the Sixers overnight. And if I could go back to that feeling.
12, shoot.
I was 8 when I started following basketball. If I could go back to those years, that time, and feel that moment as a kid of when I fell in, like that exact moment I fell in love with a team and a player, man, that was before all the free agency and all that stuff, like kind of my perspective. Before I cared about the finances of it, man, it was so pure. I would go back to that all day.
So my question is, I feel like I always have this question of people. Like, so when I was born, my family was like, you are a Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, Sixers fan.
My parents never did that with me.
That's what you are.
Yep.
Okay.
My family never did that with me. I was given the ability to basically like anyone I like. And honestly, my parents weren't big hockey or basketball fans to begin with. Got into it because of me. So like,
what were they fans of for NFL and MLB?
My dad didn't really have a team. My mom liked the Eagles. I became a Dolphins fan, so my dad became a Dolphins fan. Now he'll follow the Eagles. He's still not a huge football guy, but he'll support the Eagles because I'm an Eagles fan. And my mom has always been an Eagles fan. They watch the Sixers. They themselves did get into hockey, so they are big Flyers fans.
I guess I could see like if your parents weren't super into sports, then I could see how like maybe they're not like your Philly sports or die, but came from a family who was like 100% like all Philly sports.
Yeah, I mean my thing was baseball. Like my dad was a big baseball fan. I myself became a Cardinals fan because I liked Ozzie Smith. That was the first professional athlete I ever liked. That was before I liked any team. I watched baseball. My dad used to be a Phillies fan. My dad had season tickets. My dad was at the 80 World Series. his reasons for not liking the Phillies, I could tell you guys, he hates them, and there's a reason why he hates them, and it was something that, as a season ticket holder, he didn't like that they did back in the day, and he still doesn't support them to this day. With that being said,
So that's why you never liked the Phillies.
I don't mind. I never disliked the Phillies.
I don't
but they
mind
just
the
weren't my
Phillies.
team. I became an Ozzie Smith fan. I became a Cardinals fan. And then when I was a kid, my mom worked with the head of security of the Vets family member, right? So every time the Cardinals were in town, they used to get me on the field. I have pictures on the field during batting practice with Cardinals and all that stuff. And I did that up until I was like 13 years old. So like I never forget any of that stuff. I was always treated really well by them. Even when like Rex Hudler was a Cardinal and came back as a Philly and I would go to games, he remembered me because I had red hair. So every time he would be in town, we would go down even after I was not allowed to be on the field anymore. I would be on the third base side and he would come out from the outfield stretching and come and see me. So like you never forget that kind of stuff. I don't hate the Phillies. If it's not the Cardinals, I'm not one of those people who wants to see everybody miserable. I like that if I can't win, I want my friends to win. You know what I mean? Unless it's at my expense. If I'm playing you in 2011, I'm going to want to beat you. Sorry, it's just how it is.
Yeah, so you're not a Phillies fan.
But overall, no. I'm not a fan, but I'm not a hater.
I don't mind the Phillies. I mean, you hate the Phillies.
See, like I'm a big Phillies fan just because.
Well, you're a typical Philly crumb when you make stupid comments like that. That's a crumb fan comment.
Do you know this is my birthday week and you have no right to
Well, it's my birthday week every week in March. So
it's not your birthday week.
I was around.
I'm trying to take this from me.
I took the month of March before you were even a seed. So we're good.
I'm born first in March though. So like don't try to take this from me. It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
Yeah, in 1987.
We can share the month of March. I promise.
My birthday is on Sunday.
Mine was born in March of 1985. You weren't even a seed.
But Kern wants to try to steal this from me. Like I have nothing.
You weren't even floating around yet. We're good.
I have nothing. Let me out.
Anyway,
I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to stop you, but I'm like the same way with baseball. I grew up. My brother played baseball and like travel baseball, and my entire childhood. When I think of what I did when I was younger, my childhood traveling for my brother's baseball team. That's all I ever did. So like I love the Phillies. Again, obviously, it's we're in Philadelphia. I was born and raised to love all Philly sports. But my brother playing, I used to be so superstitious. I'd have to wear whatever shirt the team won their first game in every single game following. And I swear it worked because they were like state champs every time I did that. So superstitions, I think they're real. That's, you know what? That should be a poll question. Do you think superstitions are real?
I would love to have that conversation.
Yes. I'm going to go with yes.
I would love
I'm going to write it down.
I would love, that's a good one because I could tell you some psycho stories about superstitions that I'm out.
Does it have to do with girls choking girls?
No, that's only online dating.
He's like, I got a story for you.
Where'd Tom go? MIA?
I had a buddy who, when the Phillies were in 2000 and was the year Halladay threw the no-hitter in the playoffs. The way I used to live with them and the way the house was set up.
2011.
You could stand outside the window and see the TV from the porch. Like if you want to go out and smoke a cigarette or get air or whatever. So we would go out and we would smoke a cigarette out there. And if the Phillies started doing well, he would make us watch the game from the outside. We were not allowed to go back inside of the house. It was we would be out there for 4 innings. I'm like, dude, I don't even think I have bought enough cigarettes out here with me to keep me occupied.
Wait, literally? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. He was insane.
Another superstition thing, my mom during Eagles games, she'll go over to the kitchen and she'll be like, she'll go over to the kitchen and be washing a dish, and then the Eagles will score and she'll be like, I can't move. Are you kidding me? She's like, wow. Where if someone goes in the other room or goes into their room during the game and we start doing bad, she's like, get your ass downstairs.
Yeah.
Last night, the Flyers game. I did this. I said this jokingly, but it's funny that you say that because, so like, my mom was over and we all watched the Flyers game together. So like, she fell asleep on the couch and the Flyers started doing really bad. This is before they started giving up the goals though, but you could tell like there was a lot of pressure by the Pens against them. So she wakes up and like 45 seconds after she wakes up, or they started doing well. I'm sorry, it was like 2 minutes, right? You could tell the tide shifts, and then they scored like 2 minutes after she wakes up, and I was like, you're gonna have to like stay awake now. It sounds like you woke up and they woke up, and then like 30 seconds later, it became an absolute catastrophe. And I was like, well, you can go back to sleep now. But I was joking with her that I was like, well, I guess you're the lucky charm. You have to stay awake now.
Yeah, superstitions are funny because 1 minute I'll be like the biggest believer. I'm like, no, you have to, and then the next minute I'll be like, this was all a lie. I've been lied to.
I'm not like crazy superstitious. I am the type of person when my team is like, all right, maybe I'm a little bit superstitious. So like certain Eagles games, if they win, like go on a win streak, I'll wear the same jersey until they lose, and then I will alternate and put on a different jersey.
That's like my baseball story. I would wear my brother's like baseball jersey from the year before until they lost, which they didn't lose for like 2 years in a row. They just kept winning. So I'm like, I just got to keep wearing the same jersey.
Yeah, it was that. And then
Did you play sports growing up, Chrome?
I played baseball, basketball, and hockey.
How about you, Lindsay?
I played when I was little. I played every sport because my parents decided that's the best way to, pick and choose what you want. And then as you get older, you kind of like take some stuff out. So I played like soccer, all of that stuff. I played baseball for like longer than your average girl would play baseball for because I didn't like. I don't know. I didn't love. I like played softball for a year and I didn't love it, so I like went back to baseball. And then in high school, I played field hockey, lacrosse, and then I cheered. But lacrosse was like my biggest.
Man, you really did play some sports. Damn.
I never played lacrosse.
I played. Oh, and I did basketball. I did as many as I could up until you could only do one a season.
Yeah, at some point you have to start focusing on whatever one you're like really.
Yeah.
I think I'm late to the party. I think like when you get to a certain point, you can go two, depending on the sports in high school, right? Like you could go. Like I finally decided to go just football, baseball, right? And you had the time period and the break, right?
Yeah, because you quit basketball because they asked you to play point guard.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that, but
That was hilarious.
yes, you're not wrong.
When it was weird. So like when I was younger, I mean, I loved baseball and I still love it. Strategically, it's my favorite sport to watch. And I loved baseball, but to be honest, I was a great fielder and base runner, and I was not a great hitter. And I think that as I got older, I started to get better at other sports. Basketball, I was a really, really good defensive player, and I was like a 3-and-D guy. So I was a 3-point shooter. I was great at defense.
Come see me in a 3-point contest.
Like a young Mike Chromiak? Young Mike Scott.
I hit a hell of a lot more 3-pointers than he did. I won a 3-point contest for my township league back then too.
Dude, we need to have a 3-point contest because I already am having one against Wilson because like I'm like so good at threes. Like it's just like
I haven't shot a basketball in years. I don't even know if I remember how to shoot a basketball.
I will school you people.
On terms of basketball, I used to think I was freaking amazing. Then I got to middle school, okay? 7th grade, all right? I think it was 7th grade. I had a lot of tall friends in my grade. Like 2 of my best friends were freaking like 5'10" in the 7th grade. And I'm like trying to ball out 7th grade tryouts and they cut me, okay? The end of my career.
I got cut in 7th grade.
End of my career, and I literally, my little 7th grade self, like walked out. I walked out of my middle school. Right, there's a security guard at the end of the road, and he's like, man, like you can't you can't go past here. Like someone has to come pick you up. And I was like, leave me alone. I was like, let me walk home.
You're like, I just got my period.
Little seventh grade me.
Hockey, I
I
was like a dirty player. Hockey, I was a winger.
Ain't nobody play hockey unless you're rich.
I loved Yager. I was a winger.
More rich boy over here.
I was a dirty player, and I used to always love to stick my stick in between people's legs and trip them the fuck up. It was my favorite thing. I loved it.
That's what she said.
I loved being a dirty hockey player.
Yeah.
Is Joel Embiid okay?
I don't know.
I don't know.
It.
Apparently,
what happened? I missed it. What happened? Are we okay?
Are we okay?
That's my favorite Tom quote. Are we okay? Take a shot every time Tom says, "Are we okay?" Take a shot every time Chrome says, "The Cardinals beat the Phillies in 2011."
I got my chocolate bomb business like literally right in front of me. I've been working on it all day.
Nice. That's good.
I think I've made literally 50 today, but that's great. I'm doing a little pop-up store in King of Prussia, like in late March sometime. Let y'all know when it is. I think it's like March 21st. But so I just have to make a ton of them.
That's my birthday.
March 21st?
Fuck you. It's my birthday week. We're not discussing anyone else's birthday.
Your birthday month, Tor. It's your birthday month.
Yeah, and we'll talk about his at a later date.
Here we go with the ladies in the birthday months.
I'm going to say, listen.
Chrome is the lady here.
Oh, I knew this. He needs 2 months for his birthday. It's like
Tom is right. A couple years ago.
A week.
Wait, so my 30th birthday lasted 3 months because I went to LA and California. I did it for my 30th birthday.
Disneyland.
I didn't do Disneyland, but I did an 11-day trip in 10 cities in California.
That's cool.
And then
that sounds exhausting. I don't like
amazing.
to travel. Like if I travel, I want to travel somewhere and not move within a 10 feet radius.
No, so I stayed in.
You're an all-inclusive. You're an all-inclusive, Pat. Like the big dog over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love myself this fucking vitamin D and pinkies out. Love vitamin D.
That's what I want. No excursions for me. Nope.
No, I stayed 7.
No, you got to do one tour.
Nah, I don't.
Depending on tour, if you're going on an island,
that's my break. That's my break from away from all the people that I went with.
Tour, you do nothing for 6 days. You can't hop on a bus.
I want to do nothing for 7 days.
I agree with you to a point. Like I did a cross country one, and then Crow finished. I did a cross country one, and it felt like if you know what I mean. It almost felt like I don't know. I was going for 2 years.
That's not a vacation. Yeah, like going to a new city every night. Like no thanks.
But it was fun.
I didn't go every night.
I got to go from A all the way across the United States. Like I got to say that I did that. Like I got to go in an RV from.
That's fucking cool. I want to do that. That's like a dream trip for me. That's awesome. I would love to do that.
I have no desire to do that.
Tomorrow. I'll put Cass in a fucking RV tomorrow.
I mean, I don't mind road trips because I don't know. I don't mind road trips. Like if it's from point A to point B, but like I don't want to stop at 100 places on the way.
No, see, I like that. But I did I stayed 7 nights in Culver City in Santa Monica, but throughout that first 7 days, we went to Malibu and Hollywood. We went all over at Los Angeles. Like I went all over that area and hit a bunch, Hermosa Beach and all those different areas.
Over under 5,000 selfies.
No, back then I didn't think I did a whole lot of selfies. I took a shit ton of pictures. I don't know, not selfies though. And then after that, I did 4 days up in San Jose and went Santa Clara, San Francisco, all those areas up there, and went to WrestleMania for the last 4 days. It was awesome. It was a great trip. But then the month after, I had a birth because I had a month, and then I had to go back to work, and then we had a celebration in April. Again? And then for my friends after that, we had another celebration in May for my birthday. So I literally had a 2-month birthday celebration. It was pretty great.
So Sixers down 2. We'll be off around 9:15, and then and then A2D Wednesday night starts at 9:30. So stay tuned for that. Give you more Sixers post game talk.
Question: no one's coming out for my birthday.
I told you I have plans with my nephew.
No bullshit.
Sorry.
I'm in Florida, so
Sorry, Tori.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Tori's like, who wants to come out for a COVID birthday? Let's go. No masks. Let's lick holes and shit.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Who wants to share drinks?
I mean, I would never share drinks, COVID or not. So.
Yeah, I'm on a drink share. Yeah, I mean, get your own.
I'm the same.
I'll buy it.
Brian Daly wants to come out. I think we're gonna go out somewhere local. So hit me up, people. Probably Saturday night. My birthday's on Sunday.
I'll bet it's the spread. I will bet you money that she's gonna end up at the spread.
I think so.
What night are you going out?
Saturday.
Maybe I'll stop by for a drink if I can.
Yay.
I'm not saying I could stay, but maybe I'll come by for a drink.
The big three. Seth Curry.
Finally.
Down to 106, 106.
Or, you could do what we talked about and just go to freaking Florida and we could celebrate both of our birthdays like I told you.
I'll be there tomorrow.
I feel like Chrome's birthday would overshadow my birthday.
Never.
Oh my God.
It would
Yes, it
never
would.
do that.
Yes, it
Not
would.
a chance in hell that
Yeah,
that would
see,
happen.
that's why we could never date, because I'd be like, oh my God.
Never gonna happen. I promise you.
I would be like, oh my God, it's my birthday.
The fuck did I just
And
watch?
you'd be like, it's my fucking birthday. And I'm like, but no, today's my actual birthday. And you'd be like, well, my birthday's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, for you too. I don't give a fuck about your birthday.
It's my
I
birthday.
care about how Joel Embiid just rebounded the ball and thought about with Ben Simmons standing right there, and we don't pass that ball to Ben.
Well, that's good that Joel's back.
Yeah, it's good he's back. Good he's
What
back.
happened to Lindsay?
Sorry, I can care
They
less.
called
I care less about your two birthday weeks.
I know, and that's a problem for me personally.
Oh, what's the problem?
That's an issue. That's an issue.
Birthday. What do you guys want me to do?
I don't have husbands. I don't have babies. I have a birthday once a year. So
right, and I love your birthday.
I'd appreciate a PowerPoint presentation for it. Thank you.
No, I mean, let's not go that far.
Sure as I'm not going to talk about it for 20 minutes. You want an all inclusive. I'm in. You want to try?
You're not.
You want a night out to spread? I'm out. I would be. And I'll be double shot up by then with whatever's in it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Nothing comfortable with it. I'm just telling you, I'll be double shotted. So, and I'm double shotted.
Got my set 3-pointer, by the way.
Wait. So this is good. I signed up for the vaccine.
Good. I was against.
I applied for it.
I was against it at the beginning, but if it can be for the greater good and we can get freaking normal, because I love all inclusives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love getting my paws in the different oceans. I'm a big fan of
talking right now with my family about doing a Disney cruise to Hawaii next year. So
I want to go to
we'll
all
be doing that
inclusive in like
the vaccine.
It can't be a normal cruise. It's got to be a Disney cruise. I mean, you're such a child. I mean, take
Disney
a grown
cruise to Hawaii.
No.
I could be down for that.
Like I'll pass
Thank you.
on seeing like Mickey Mouse walking around in a costume.
Good with taking a boat all the way to goddamn Hawaii.
I
Like,
like cruises.
That's definitely like days long to get from.
on a plane. I hate planes.
No
No,
way.
you fly out. You fly
California.
Out to California.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I know. I
So that's like Florida and the Bahamas.
And be sure,
Jojo.
I would be going to Disneyland in that trip out to California as well.
Oh.
Have you ever been to Disneyland?
No, I've never
That's
been.
weird.
Damn.
Kids got 4 minutes to talk.
Wait, my favorite Instagram page is Dilfs of Disneyland. And
What?
it's just all a bunch. It's called Dilfs of Disneyland
That would be your fave, Tori.
on
That's
Instagram,
really
and
cool.
it's all hot dads at Disneyland.
You can find anything on
What do
the
you mean
internet.
of Disneyland? Like workers or just dads that?
I guess they could technically
It's
be
just
working
dudes that people take pictures of in Disneyland that they think are DILFs.
that are.
Oh my god!
I don't even know the page. but
I
can
did.
tell you
I didn't
exactly
create
what
it, but I support it.
Why does?
Tori's going to be making submissions for that page next time she goes.
Oh
She's
yeah,
gonna be
sure.
the most obvious person. She's going
I'm
to be
like,
like,
hey,
oh,
could I get a
click
picture
and
of
get
you?
caught. Like,
Could we
whoops.
take a picture really quick? You really look like my friend.
Yeah,
Next thing you know,
my
this dude's
friend who's
getting
a
blown up
Dilf
on.
of Disneyland.
Next thing you know, this dude's getting blown up on Instagram.
I know.
I am sitting my all inclusive out this year, but if anybody wants to meet, anybody wants to do a month in Florida in August, let me know. That's
Are
where
you
I'm
going?
Another place I've never done, by the way, Tom. I don't know if you. I've never been to Key West. I want to go to Key West.
I want to go to Key West too.
I've been to Florida a million times, right? Like a million times.
I've gone every year since like 1990.
And I've been on East Coast, really West Coast most of the time. But like I've gotten as far as like Naples. I've gotten close to Miami, like outside of it. But I've never
been to Miami?
Every year. We talk about every year. Hey, we're gonna go to Key West. We're gonna go to Key West. We're gonna go to Key West. Never get there. It's one of them. Never get there.
I don't like it. I don't recommend Key West.
Yeah.
I
You're the
feel
first
like-
person to tell me that.
I feel like I won't like it either, but I want to go.
Like I got water where I'm at. Why do I got to go further?
There's no beach there. There's no beach.
The whole one bridge in, one bridge out thing.
Well, I think that's beautiful. I think that is like just beautiful.
I want to go for pictures. Yeah.
Michael Grimm, I was not crowning myself because I've been to Florida a million times. I was making this point.
King of Florida over here.
Yeah, I've been. I'm more of a Dominican guy.
Yeah, Tom, you could say anything and people were gonna hate you.
I'll crown myself. I went to fucking Florida 4 times between July and November.
Oh, here we go.
I may as well live there. It's honestly probably cheaper for me at this point.
Guess what, Chrome? It's my birthday week.
You gonna come or what?
I might.
Yeah,
I might fuck around and go to Disney.
Yeah, we'll see.
For shits and giggles and charity.
Another place. There's 3 places in Florida I want to go to. And same thing. My family, it's like our thing. Like, so now as an adult, I go more. But my family always took us to Florida. So it's like Joe. Never been to Miami. Want to go.
What? Why
never
been to Miami.
Never been to Key West, and I want to go to Pirate Beach. I've heard Pirate Beach is fucking fantastic.
Want to hear a funny story about Miami?
Type of guy. Do I look like? I mean, Chrome does. I mean, Chrome smells Miami Vice. But do I look like? Do I look like?
Don't make me. I'll wear one of them shirts next week.
So wait, Tom, I got kicked off of Versace steps. You know how Versace lives in Miami, like where he was killed, the mansion. Yeah. I got kicked off of Versace steps for crying out front of the steps because I was dating Tom's cousin, who was being a dick at the bar. So I left the bar. It started like, you know when you like leave somewhere and you just hope that person's gonna follow you. So I left, like stormed off, and I just kept walking, thinking he's gonna follow me. Turn around blocks later. Nope, never came out.
Oh my God, Tor.
Turns out I'm at Versace steps. I didn't know it then. So I see the spot, I sit down, I start crying, sitting there crying. And this guy comes outside, he's like, ma'am, you can't sit here. I was like, I can cry where I want to cry, bro. He's like, no, you're not allowed. You're not allowed here. I got kicked off of Versace steps. Crying. Like you don't see a woman in heartache here? Like, should I go cry over on the corner over there? Like what?
Apparently.
This is why I'm single. This is why I'm single.
That's the reason.
That's exactly it.
We'll go with that. Sure. We got another show coming up here. So anybody got anything else before we wrap it up?
I'll give Tori her shout out. Happy birthday, Tori.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday. Thank you.
I think
everyone, thank you.
Of my more interesting.
It's not a big deal. It's my birthday, and that's everyone.
Ooh, okay. I feel like I'm always giving like a food shout out. So
you just look around your room and you're like, I want to give a shout out to Glade Spray.
I shouted this out last time. I'm drinking one again. I'll shout something different out. Hold on.
I'll shout out the people who handled the vaccination sites today. I'll give them some love because it's quick. They make you feel comfortable. Like I don't need military around, right? Like if I see military around, I'm backing up. I'm out. Right? Military, I feel like this. It's uncomfortable. I see movies. Not fucking happening. Like I go in there, people I feel like I know. You know what I mean?
Why would there be military there?
I've heard. There's certain.
Yeah, where I went, there was military there.
There's military. Where I went today, if there was military, I'm out. Not doing military. No.
All right. Here's my shout out.
A pickle.
People with a sweet tooth. I don't know if this is like a thing that I just discovered. Chocolate hummus.
I've seen that. I've seen it. I never tried it.
I don't care if you don't like hummus. It doesn't taste like hummus.
We dip in it though.
Hummus that doesn't taste like hummus. Yeah.
I was just eating this with strawberries. If you saw me munching earlier, it was strawberries and chocolate hummus.
I always see that, but I'm like, what would I eat with it?
I should really be getting No. Okay, you could do pretzels or
Yeah.
bananas. You could do bananas.
Yeah.
But if you're trying to be on your healthy grind and you have a sweet tooth like me, chocolate hummus.
What's it taste like? Just chocolate?
It literally is just chocolate.
So I'll
Like,
just get a spoon.
Eat it with a spoon. Yes.
Yeah.
at that point.
I love it.
But yeah,
I'm
I
a
should be
junkie.
getting paid for my food advertisements.
You
Dude,
should.
where's the kickback here? My goodness gracious.
Yeah. We need to contact hummus.
Contact.
Contact hummus. The Sixers down 3. Like I said, A2D Wednesday night will be up here at 9:30. So stay tuned for that. And 147 left to go in this game.
Down by 3.
We're gonna be heavy Sixers at 9:30 on. So fun, fun little hour piece, ladies.
This is the last time you guys will see me being 33.
Whoa!
Poor you.
Way to expose yourself. I wasn't
I
gonna ask, but I was curious.
Well,
He's like makes a big accomplishment. Last time you guys are gonna see me, 33.
and I went to the gym this week, so
Look at you, girl.
watch out. Watch out. Watch out.
Oh. Oh. Pinky out. Sixers down 1. What kind of wine you got there, Tor?
Pinot Grigio.
Oh,
As always.
really the best.
Gonna go a little Pinot. I was gonna hit
As
you.
always. Always. Pinot or Chardonnay.
Oh, that's goaltending. Sorry.
Down by 3. Again.
Yeah, well, we can't stop them, obviously. Mitchell's pretty good. Donovan Mitchell, pretty good player.
Remember when Rudy Gobert gave everyone Corona last year?
Yeah.
That was funny as hell. He was like making fun. He was like, "Oh, Corona," and he went and touched everyone's mics, and then everyone got Corona.
That's
Wait,
so cold.
funny thing about
That was like the beginning.
during the Corona time, real quick, I was walking. So
We're
the
living in Corona time.
Wait, we are, but like less. But
Yeah.
but I was walking right the week that all the Corona stuff happened. I was in our when the Sixers play a team away, the away team actually practices at the Temple facility. So they were walking in and I was walking in and I forget who it was. I don't remember, but there were these 2 guys and they were like literally 7 foot tall. And I looked over at them. I kind of scurried up to them and I was like, "Excuse me, sir, can I ask you how tall you are?" Like me, little shrimp next to him.
No, you didn't.
And yes, I did. I swear on my life.
And they were like, "Send me a Snapchat of your butt."
And they looked down at me. They're like, 7 foot. I was like, "Oh, okay." Turns out 2 of the guys that were walking in were 2 of them that had COVID from the start. I was like,
it had to be Rudy Gobert. Did we play them right around then?
I don't remember, but I just remember that somebody told me that. They're like, yeah, because our women's basketball team had seen those guys too, and then one of the players got it. I don't know. Complicated.
Oh, I think I think it might be tomorrow. Is 1 year. I'm trying to think of the 1 year anniversary of sport.
Oh,
It was after my birthday. So my birthday weekend, I went skiing last year, and then 3 days later, that was the last normal weekend. And then it was during the Sixers game. Did they played that night, right? And then it was the 10 o'clock game that got shut down, I think.
Yeah.
No, we got sent to Texas. We flew to Texas March 11th, I think it was. We get there and then they're like, "No, it's only essential people in the game." So we're like, "That's us." We go to dinner that night and they're like, "No, it's not you." So we're like, "Wow, we're stuck in Texas." Then the next morning, the whole tournament was canceled. So it was the 13th. March.
Yeah, I think it was one day next week. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. Well, it's nuts. It's nuts. We made it through. Making it through. Keep pushing, peeps. Great show, ladies. And I should say ladies because Crumb's part of the ladies. So
absolutely. He's more lady than us.
What the hell was I going to say? We're brought to you by BodyCheckWellness.com. You can use promo code A2D for 20% off at checkout. Stay tuned. A2D Wednesday night coming up here. Give us 10 minutes and we'll be on. Let me breathe for 5 and we will be on. Ladies, great show. Can't wait for next week. And what the hell else? Anybody got anything else? We out.
Peace.
Subscribe if you haven't.